The New Orleans Sewerage and Water Board is charged with keeping our water both safe and flowing, but they may be charging us too much to do it. According to Sewage and Water Board financial records on employee pay requested by Arguello reports in late September of last year, 35% of all New Orleans Sewage and Water Board employees were over the board's own limit on allowable overtime by September of 2012. Despite this, the Sewage and Water Board has been in a hiring freeze since Hurricane Katrina.
We've been in a hiring freeze for, and more knowing full well that you don't have the resources and the revenues to hire in new crews, and not only hire new crews, but again, equip new crews. Say, for example,
Sewage and Water Board overtime policy states employees may not work more than 416 hours overtime per calendar year without approval. Supervisors must first do a cost-to-benefit analysis to determine whether or not it would be cheaper to hire another employee first. 2012 data from the Sewage and Water Board shows that it paid more than $2 million in overages for overtime by September of 2012. Many top overtime earners have clocked overtime upwards of 1,000 hours. One board worker, James Caldonado, worked the most overtime hours of the entire Sewage and Water Board, clocking 1,656 hours in overtime. He also worked 8 hours more in overtime than he did in regular time by September 2012. This graph shows the growth in overtime expenditures for the entire Sewage and Water Board since 2000. There's a sharp rise in overtime spending immediately after Hurricane Katrina. This decline came immediately after WVUE Fox 8 News covered excessive overtime expenses at the Water Board. But as the graph clearly shows, overtime is now at the same level as it was in 2010. The excesses in overtime may still yet get worse as aging Water Board employees retire.
when I say much tenure, I mean you have individuals, a high number of individuals who may be knocking at the door of 30 plus years.
For Arguello Reports, in association with PAC News, John Paul Arguello.